Hello, welcome to the WeighPay group. In this video, we're going to show you real quick a kind of a day in the life of a waste management recycling facility, aggregate facility. We're going to go to take a look at our logistics. We're going to start with kind of from the dispatch, and we're going to go to our active work orders. We could go right into one of our boards, our scheduling boards, but we're just going to go right into our active work orders and just kind of take a quick look at what this looks like. So we've got a dashboard showing us that we've got a total of 6 work orders. We have 5 different service types that we're servicing. We've got 1 inbound, 5 are outbound. 1 has been accepted by the driver, 4 have been created, but only 1 has been accepted. So, and then 1 is a drop. You can see here a swap, a pickup. If you're moving containers around, yeah, we can track the direction of the container, etc. So if you go down here, you can see real-time driver statuses of what time that load was accepted, what time the driver arrived in the yard, and then of course when the load was in progress at the service location, and then when it's finished. So real-time statuses right here on your screen, making it real simple. Now we also have some other information on this screen, which is of course not only the status itself, telling us what status it's in yard. This one's just been accepted. These have yet to be accepted, they've just been created. We know that we're using internal hauling because these are all on the internal hauler board. We know the date it was created, we know the service date, we know the brokerage type or the customer, drop set, supplier inbound, customer outbound. So we know the service type here. We know the direction, and we can see the account that we're dealing with here. And then of course, if it's assigned to a driver, we can see which driver it's assigned to, and or if there's any scale tickets associated with it. So very quickly, this is just a dashboard giving us our work orders. Now, if we want to get into our internal hauling, we can click on that. Or we can go many ways to navigate there, but now we're kind of headed over to our scheduler. So you'll notice on the left is my unassigned load. So if I had multiple unassigned loads throughout the week or throughout the time zone, so if you had a bunch of them at 8 o'clock and you're waiting to, let's say, assign that to driver 1 or driver 2, or this driver, you can see has multiples. And so very quickly and easily you can see this is a full drag and drop environment. And that gives us the ability to, even if I go to full week, I can change my view and add the weekends in, and then I can drag that over to the weekend. And of course, if the load qualifies, it's going to let me drag it over. So you can see that this driver is sitting in this truck, and I can double click and show you and change trucks just very, very quickly. I can change trucks. So if they were in a flatbed, now you're going to put them in a roll-off because they're going to fulfill a different kind of load. You can easily match your drivers to your assets in the system. So keep in mind, under the logistics, not only do we have kind of a view of all of your boards, but you have just docks and terminals, just your internal drivers or your third-party drivers. You have a full container management system built in. So this tells us how many have been assigned, unassigned, in repair. And then down here you can see that we've got a forklift container. It's a 4 cubic yard container scheduled for service right now. It's been on 2 work orders so far. The last service date was July 11th, and it was on the last service was a work order number 212. And so you can see to the right, I can create a work order right from here. So I can go right to my container assets, create a work order right from the container asset as well. That way I know it's available, and I know it can be assigned if I want to assign it into a dispatch. So pretty simple for us to kind of navigate through the active work orders. I can create a brand new work order. One of the things that we included was a call center ready. So customer comes, you search for the customer, they don't exist, and no, I've never done business. Can you ship me 10 yards of soil? You can click this button, and real quick you could enter in an address here. If you want the service address, you'll notice that it's tied to the Google mapping so that we know exactly where we're doing this. And so if I put in like my office, I can continue to type Grove Street, Carson City, and then I can boom, drop that in, put their email, put their phone number, put their business name. If it's just an individual, I can put first name, last name. So it is call center ready. This will actually create the account. And then of course at a later time, your sales manager could go in and easily add pricing or add contracts or POs and SOs and all that kind of stuff. So real quickly, it is very phone center ready for you to start taking your orders and then scheduling those orders. Now, if you don't know when the order is going to be complete or who the driver is going to be, but you notice you have third-party haulers here. So if I put in a third-party hauler, I can grab this third-party hauler and put it on there. or I could have used an internal hauling if it was my truck, return the container. We also have the ability to set recurring work orders. So this work order could happen every day on the 10th, monthly, once a month on the 10th. It could happen, repeat up to 10 times if you know it's a job. So quite a bit of flexibility in how you're going to book a load, how you're going to schedule the load, and then how you're going to drop that load onto one of your maps, and how you're going to reassign in the middle of the day. If this driver can't manage this load and you have a truck that's associated, you can drop it back over to this driver if you need to. So very easy. Now, when I highlight this, you're going to notice that if I leave my mouse over it for a second, it tells me the duration of this work order. It tells me the account we're dealing with, the contract we're dealing with, how much weight is remaining on that contract, what the contract is for. It's for enriched organic compost. It's a customer outbound load, and the hauler is yet to be assigned. So we don't know because we're using an internal hauler here, so we don't have a third-party hauler assigned to this. So it has full audit trail for every action taken, whether it's drag and drop actions or other actions, but complete audit trails for every single work order. So red meaning outbound, green meaning inbound. So this is an inbound load that I have scheduled, and this will tell you where it's coming from, what contract it's on, what product is coming in, all the information you need to quickly assess your business and manage your ins and your outs. Let's go ahead and log out, and I want to log back in as a driver and just give you an indication of what a day in the life of a truck driver using the WeighPay mobile application. So this is just on a full screen. This does scale down to phones, tablets, so it automatically is responsive. And so we can show here how we could start a load. We could add a signature. It's asking us to add a signature. So this means we need to kind of get the signature going before we hit the start button. One of the things that the system shows me is now I could click this now that I'm arrived at the yard. So if I've arrived at my service location, which is right here, by the way, connected to maps, so your driver can click this and instantly see it on the map where they're headed. We can pause this at any time with a pause reason. If I'm taking a lunch, I can hit the lunch break, pause. The system goes into pause. You'll notice it has a timer. So the driver now just is sitting on this screen and says, okay, I finished my lunch. So you can resume, and now we're back. So you can add photos, select containers, scan documents, add documents. We have both DOT pre and post trip inspections. Of course, here's the work order. Here's the progress of the work order with the time date stamp at the bottom. If we go down here, the driver can see all of his other loads. So if he needs to reorganize his load or know where he's headed, you can see here that he could reject this load or he could accept this load. This one here is arrived, so the driver sees his own statuses as well as the dispatcher sees the statuses. So this is a very simple application, but it does allow us to go in there, capture, it automatically remembers the odometer, so you can enter in your new mileage. You can add a signature before you proceed so the driver can sign that he did his DOT. He could add photos for his DOT if there was any damage to his vehicle or any damage here, or he can select or unselect all of these here. So really simple for the driver to be able to maintain his, and you can see the pre-trip is completed, normally done before we started this load. But this way we can say that now we've arrived, and you'll see that it just tells me, now the next step would be when I get to the yard. So you can kind of track how your drivers are going to run. So hope you enjoyed that part of the driver's app. Let's go ahead and assume that the driver is now arriving at the scale. Let's go ahead and open up the scale application. So in WeighPay Enterprise, we have a wonderful scale application that says the driver pulls up and you're like, okay, who you hauling for? This happens when you have third-party haulers. But let's just assume that whether it's your internal driver, whether you're here on a work order, however you do your search, whether it's RFID, scan, QR code, whatever. This time I just did a physical search of this AAA company. What it's going to do now is the system's looking for any active transactions. So you can see that here's that brokerage that we are on, and this is the dispatched work order 272. I can simply go like this, confirm, edit if I need to edit, but this would give me all the information, and I can go ahead and start creating my scale ticket at this point. So dispatch is completely connected to the scale. Now the ones up above here, these would be If the truck's returning to your scale, they may be returning because they've already been in your yard. So you might have already gotten a heavyweight or a lightweight, and they're in there doing their job of picking up some material or dropping off some material. That would be the top section. This is the most relevant section at the top. You're going to notice down at the bottom we start getting into contracts. Contract 1051, contract 1010. We can actually just do a weight, excuse me, a weight fulfillment, create a ticket for this company, AAA company, and just do a contract fulfillment. So, or I could just open up a blank ticket and just start building one from scratch. But this combo screen gives us a lot of power, instantly seeing all the work orders, all the dispatches, all the active trucks in my yard, all the active contracts, both purchases and sales. Again, color coded, red meaning outbound, green meaning inbound, sales are red, purchases are green. That's color coded throughout the system. So let's go ahead and open this load up here. We're going to open this work order and we're going to hit that. And then we're going to, if needed, we could select the truck and say, yep, we've got a gray tractor trailer coming in the yard. And so very easily to identify your vehicles if you need to do a manual yard ID. What it did right now is it went ahead and said, oh, I know the contract, I know the customer, I have the information. This here happens to be a brokerage ticket, so you're going to notice on the left that we've got the company that we're buying from and the company that we're selling to. So this is a brokerage, what we call brokerage, but really I'm picking up some material from location A and delivering material to this location, and that's all going to be stated right here on this line item. What it's doing right now is it's looking for the gross weight of the truck because I've got this set up to be inbound first and then outbound afterwards. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my truck scale, and it's going to ask for the number of occupants, and then I'm simply going to accept that load, and then you're going to notice now I've got my heavyweight. Now, of course, that truck could come in, pick up its material, and then I could say how many people are in the truck, one, and then now I've got my complete line. I've got it. We weighed everything by the pound. You can see over here, we weighed everything by the pound. We have the net weight of 32,000. It is priced by the net ton. The net ton price was $220. Now this could be hidden. If you don't want your scale to see the price line, we can hide the price line and just reveal the weight line, but we do have both weight line and lines. Now, we do have a lot of grading type materials, but if I switch from my AAA company, which is what I'm on right now, and I want to turn around and sell something or sell this load. So you can see here how I can go into the customer account. I can check the driver, check the vehicle. If there's any pre-weighed tear container weights or tear weights for the truck, it would automatically be stored right here. So a lot of flexibility in how we're processing these tickets. So I'm going to go and just take this company off, remove this one. We'll leave it just with the AAA company, and then we're just going to go send this to accounts payable. Now I can send accounts payable and print. I could say, you know what, I want to go ahead and pay the supplier right now who provided me the product, and so I could just do a quick pay if I wanted to take it to quick pay, or I could just park it, or just save it and print it and work on it later. So a lot of times we go in and out of tickets quite a few times depending on the different loads, but I'll just go ahead and save that. One of the things that I'd like to do at this point is take you back to the web application, and let's go ahead and get logged into the web app and just kind of close this video with something that's pretty transparent, gives you an idea. I'd like to go look at a ticket. I'd like to see how are we storing this data, what kind of information are we capturing for your audit purposes. So keep in mind that our system has a parent-child ticketing system. That means if I scroll down here, you're going to see I had a ticket 6874 was my parent ticket, and then I needed to make an adjustment. That adjustment, whether it be a price adjustment, a product adjustment, a weight deduction, or anything else, creates a 0.1. If I did it again, it'd be a 0.2. So what I want to do is I'm just going to go into this ticket because it's got a few different items on it that I want to be able to show you. So this was a load that came in that had brass shell. We found some red dirty brass in the brass shell, so we sorted that out. And then there was also some tin line iron that was on contract 1008. So we can see that these were not on a contract, this was on a contract. So every line item, of course, can have its own contract. We see the converted weights, we see the prices, we see images built right into the system. So you can go up here, take a look at these images and then scroll through them. So you've got full image capability, and of course if I hit the three dots at the end, it shows us gross tier, any adjusted weights, any net weights. So a lot of details. Now, just to kind of get into it, one of the things that we also add the ability is to score our suppliers or to score our customers. So you can go in here and say, you know what, the material quality was fantastic. The packing list that they sent us, or the bill of lading, it was moderate. The quality was good. Material packaging, it arrived on time. So you can go ahead and score your customers, your haulers, your suppliers can all be scored. So any account that's on this ticket can receive a score for it. So you want to score your haulers, you want to score your suppliers, you can score theirs, and we have a full scoring system built into this. If I click back here under ticket info, this is where we can start to see, were there any related work orders associated? Were there any, and on this ticket, I apologize, there was not a work order associated, but we can go in here and see, did this ticket create an AP bill? And it did. There's a supplier bill 1604. So that makes it pretty nice for us to see, and then I can drill into the details of this supplier bill, and there's been no payment yet, so we don't see any payments on this bill. Any additional bills, any service bills, any contracts? Yep, we did have that contract, 1008. Shows us any remaining weights, fulfilled weights. You can see there's been 8 fulfillments against this contract. So again, quite a bit of information that we're storing just for this one single ticket, including a full audit trail. And so when we get back here, we can see how many editors, how many edits, how many ads, how many suppliers, how many bills were created, what's the net weight of all the line items on this, how many images are attached to this. So quite a bit of information to give you the details that you need in the back end to see what happened with this ticket. Now you can see the products down here. You can kind of scroll down and see any of the changes that were made, if there was any edits. Now, of course, I could void the transaction. I could clone this transaction. If I was going to do another identical transaction, I could just hit the clone button and it would light up a brand new ticket with all these details, all the haulers, all the customers, suppliers, or I could make an adjustment. I could create a 6890.1, meaning that, hey, I got the wrong price in here. I got there's a deduction. We also have an overview summary. So this is giving you a detailed look of what happened with this ticket, when it was created, who was added to it, who was the end user that did it, and what date. So it's a complete audit trail, a complete audit log, and then we can go back to see were there any containers involved. Yep, we had a 4x4 container involved. It was an inbound container. So were there any haulers? No, I didn't have any haulers recorded. It was probably internal. And then back to ticket info. So hope you enjoyed the video and understand that WeighPay is a full POS payment solution. We have our own netting system. APs and AR bills are netted together to create a payment solution. We can show you that. Full payment system, full mass payment run, full check run, full cash drawer, full ERP connection. So we can go right here to our Oracle NetSuite and go right into to see what was pushed from the WeighPay enterprise platform right into your NetSuite. We have a full contract system to manage your purchase contracts, sales contracts, POs and SOs, full logistics system, full pricing system with multi-tier cross-reference price boards, a lot of information there, and not to say the least, but a full inventory solution with inventory positioning, real-time positioning of how transactions impact your inventory costing and levels. And then we get into movements such as pile-to-pile production, adjustments that might need to be made. So if we need to make a miscellaneous adjustment or a cycle count or a physical count. So the system does have a fully integrated marketing system where it's email marketing, full email marketing built right into your system, full text message marketing built into this to grow your company. And so we can get into analytics and get back into transactions at any time. So the system does offer, just as kind of a last statement, it does offer a full segregation of duty, roles, and permissions. So it is built for publicly traded companies. It is built for regions, companies that have locations within sub-regions, companies that have locations within regions and sub-regions combined. Plus it has full workflow approvals for your controls. And I'm going to go ahead and close this video. Ran a little bit longer than I expected. And I'd like to show you, when it comes to managing accounts and it comes to your sales reps being able to manage their accounts, to see the performance, when it comes to portals for your suppliers and your customers and your haulers, we offer a full system. So if I go to the overview or the dashboard, we can see, hey, they've got no remaining credit right now. They've got some unpaid tickets, it shows me. They've paid 367 tickets. You can see our account scoring right here, and this gets back into these tickets that have been scored, and it shows us as a supplier, you can see that there's been 4 scores here, 15 scores here, 16 scores here. So again, it's a cumulative, letting you rate your suppliers, letting you rate your haulers, so you do business with people that do good business with you. So keep in mind that we've got our open contracts, our open work orders. We can see that right here, total ferrous, non-ferrous if you're a scrap metal facility, total transactions down here below. So you can see work order 266, so you can kind of see all the different information related to this account. When you get into pricing, so not only can I see the work orders associated to AAA company, so as a sales rep or as a customer, I can see that, oh, okay, I can see they've scheduled a work order and they're headed out. So this information is real time in the portal. So that way, not only does your dispatcher see it, not only does your truck driver see it, but your customers can see it in real time, all from the same server. We can also see any assets assigned to AAA company right now. We can see when they were assigned, what work order they were on, what the container number. So it lets us track assets that we own that happen to be at our customers or our suppliers' yards. Any contracts that we might have for the AAA company, you can see we have 1 sales contract and 2 purchase contracts, the SO, POs, however you like to refer to them. You can see I've got 52 fulfillments on contract 1010. So it kind of gives you the idea of what's left, what's remaining, and what my valid dates. Any spot prices, any formula prices, my price board that's delivered for this, and if there's any special pricing on this, if I scroll down here real quick, again, you can see that I've got some formula pricing. I've got a 5% on my aluminums right now. So this account gets a 5% bonus from the baseboard. So the baseboard was $1. Now you can see it's $1.05, $1.05, $1.05. So you can track spot prices by date range. Of course, formula pricing, as you can see, that's a formula price right here, FP, formula price. Any tier pricing, weight-based tier pricing that's associated with this account. Any freight rates, freight hauling, surcharges, dead freight. We can kind of get into the details in another video. Provisional pricing, any bills that we have for this account, any payments that we have for this account, and then we can get into forms that are on file that might need to be replaced. And then of course we can get into if we've issued any payment cards to this supplier, we can issue money from your account directly onto a unpersonalized or a personalized Visa MasterCard directly to your customer. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. It ran a little bit longer than I anticipated, but keep in mind that we've got this very robust back office, internet-based, works on any device, any phone, completely scalable. And then of course we've got our application here, which is sitting at your scales, sitting at your warehouses, sitting on your forklifts, it's with your drivers, etc. And so very simple ability to manage your cash drawers, manage your billing, manage any work orders, manage any contracts, all in the Scale application. Now, the one thing to keep in mind as I close the video, the Scale application does offer offline mode. That means you're always up. Excuse me. So, hope you've enjoyed the video. And remember, WeighPay, so advanced, it's simple.